Chapter 1: The Parking Lot. The wipers on the rental car dragged across the windshield with a rubbery groan, fighting a rain that didn't fall so much as hang in the air. City Hall stood ahead of me in gray concrete and glass, softened by mist, as though the building itself preferred not to be looked at too closely. 10:45 a.m., 15 minutes early. I shut off the engine, but didn't get out. For a moment, I just sat there with both hands resting on the steering wheel, watching the entrance through the shifting curtain of water. I had flown halfway across the country for this interview, rehearsed answers for weeks, and memorized council biographies until the names followed me into sleep. This was supposed to be a professional milestone, a clean beginning after a string of places where temporary dysfunction had turned out to be permanent. Newcrest was described to me as a city at an inflection point. Every troubled municipality used the same phrase. It usually meant the problems were older than anyone currently in charge. I checked my tie in the rearview mirror. It looked fine, which meant I adjusted it anyway. My leather portfolio rested on the passenger seat, thick with notes, budget summaries, governance models, conflict resolution frameworks. A glossy Harbor Point redevelopment pamphlet slid loose as I lifted it. I picked it up again. Architectural renderings, waterfront walkways, public-private partnerships, donor acknowledgments printed in small, respectful font along the back page. I paused. One name stirred a faint recognition. Not memory exactly, more the feeling of a thought I almost caught. I'd seen it somewhere before, maybe in a regional report or a funding briefing years earlier. I tried to place it, failed, and told myself I was looking too hard for patterns in a city I didn't yet belong to. I closed the folder. Rain tapped steadily on the roof. My phone buzzed in the console. "Good luck today. Call me after. Claire." I smiled despite myself and turned the screen face down. Claire believed in milestones. She liked beginnings. I had learned over time that beginnings were usually where complications quietly introduced themselves. A sleek silver SUV rolled into the parking space beside me, the engine cut, and for a moment nothing happened. Then the driver's door opened. She stepped out under a crimson umbrella, the movement practiced and efficient. Tailored charcoal suit, posture straight but not rigid. The kind of confidence that didn't ask for attention, yet always received it. When she turned to lock her door, our eyes met through the rain-streaked glass. Not surprise. Recognition would have been too strong a word, but she did not look at me the way strangers usually do. There was a brief, assessing steadiness to it, as if she were placing me somewhere rather than noticing me for the first time. Then she smiled, polite, controlled, and turned toward the entrance. I opened my portfolio and flipped to the council biographies. Ward 4, Counselor, Elena Vance. I exhaled once, longer than intended. I stepped out into the rain and hurried toward the doors. The lobby smelled faintly of floor wax and polished stone. A Harbor Point banner stood near the atrium, glossy, optimistic, and somehow at odds with the quiet tension that hung in municipal buildings everywhere. Places like this always carry the residue of decisions people argued about long after meetings ended. "I'm here for the city manager interview," I told the receptionist. She checked a list. "Take a seat, Mr. Thorne. They're running a little behind." I sat in a row of chairs facing the corridor. A discarded newspaper lay on the side table. Council deadlock continues. Resignations pile up at City Hall. So the recruitment brochure had omitted a few details. The doors opened behind me. I stood automatically, expecting another candidate. It wasn't. A man in a navy coat stepped in, brushing rain from his sleeve with casual precision. He moved with the kind of assurance that didn't need volume. "Mr. Thorne?" he asked, Yes. He extended his hand, warm grip, firm but not aggressive. Adrian Voss, Harbor Point. The name landed heavier spoken aloud than it had printed on the pamphlet. I just wanted to welcome you to Newcrest, he said. The city needs steady leadership right now. Thank you, I replied. His eyes lingered a moment, studying me in a way that felt more familiar than polite introductions usually allow. Regional infrastructure work suits you, he added conversationally. Municipal transitions can be delicate. I hesitated. I hadn't mentioned my regional posting yet that morning. Perhaps he had read the background package circulated to stakeholders. That would make sense. Still, the comment felt less like small talk and more like confirmation. Every place is delicate in its own way, I said. He smiled slightly. You'll find Newcrest has a talent for complication. Municipal code is a maze. If you need help navigating shortcuts, I'm always happy to assist. He gave my shoulder a brief, friendly pat, almost reassuring, then continued down the corridor before I could respond further. The faint scent of cologne lingered after he left. The doors opened again. Councillor Vance stepped out, now carrying a stack of files instead of an umbrella. Tell the mayor if he wants my signature on the budget, he needs to stop avoiding the finance committee, she said to the receptionist without slowing. Then she saw me. Recognition flickered, controlled, and brief. Mr. Thorne? I stood. Councillor Vance. Her handshake was firm, professional. Up close, the earlier warmth was gone, replaced by attentive focus. You are early, she said, glancing at the newspaper in my hand, and already reading local commentary. Brave. I like to understand the context, I replied. That's good, she said. You'll need context here. Before I could respond, a man with a weary expression appeared in the doorway behind her. Elena, he sighed, we can't conduct interviews in the hallway. She stepped aside but looked back at me once. Not encouragement, not warning, something closer to evaluation. This is our 11 o'clock, she said. Mr. Thorne. The mayor studied me for a moment. Right. Come in. As I passed her, she spoke quietly enough that only I could hear. Good luck, she said. They smell hesitation faster than mistakes. I wasn't sure whether she meant the council or the building. I stepped into the chamber. The doors closed behind me. And for the first time that morning, I had the faint, unplaceable sense that I had not simply arrived for an interview, but into a situation already in motion.